Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. We have a weather impact alert again tonight as we're expecting to see more freezing temperatures. We're expecting the lows down into the lower 20s and some upper teens for the lakes area as we head towards tonight going into a Tuesday morning. So it's going to be another night where you might want to drip those faucets starting, say, mid to late evening and then going through about this time tomorrow to about late morning tomorrow as we start to get above freezing. At least we'll see sunshine early in the day tomorrow as opposed to delayed sunshine like we're seeing this morning, with sunshine just now starting to break out across parts of southeast Texas. Let's look at the rest of the day forecast, and those clouds are breaking up, so we will see some sun this afternoon. Temperatures here in the triangle are going to get close to about 40 degrees, while we'll see some upper 30s in the lakes. By the time we get into 6 o'clock this evening, temperatures will be back down into the middle 30s, and then by 10 o'clock, temperatures drop off into the upper 20s for tonight, with some, like I said, lower 20s it looks like by tomorrow morning. Now, some of the computer models indicating maybe not quite as cold. We'll have to see what pans out, but right now we're going to stick with the lower 20s going towards Tuesday morning. Take a look outside, and like I said, clouds starting to break up. Look at that sunshine over towards the Horstman's Western Store in orange. Nice to see after a couple of cloudy days and that frozen precipitation, cold temperatures. Showing in orange right now, at least at freezing on our Roofing 911 live Skycam network, right at 32, humidity at 71%. And what's not helping out there is these north winds right now, anywhere between say 5 and say 10, 12 miles per hour. And we're going to see those through the afternoon. So even though we get to maybe 40, it's still going to feel at least like the 30s out there for later on today, even despite the sunshine. So make sure you bundle up. Take you to downtown Beaumont. Once again, we're starting to see those clouds finally break up, getting a little bit of sunshine back here in southeast Texas. This will help out in the lakes area as far as getting rid of whatever's left over as far as some of that ice, and we're going to be getting up above the freezing mark, and we'll melt all that ice and get it out of here for today. This is a view, of course, from Packard the Prairie on downtown on our Roofing 911 live Skycam network, currently showing 29 downtown. Humidity at 73%, and downtown we're really not showing much of a wind right now. It's just 0, but you can definitely see those clouds starting to break up, a little bit of blue sky and sunshine returning, so that's going to feel very nice if you have any outdoor plans. And then as we look down or right here from our 12 News studio, once again a lot of clouds, but you can definitely see the blue in between the clouds as they're starting to erode and get out of here. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing, part of the Roofing 911 live Skycam network from our 12 News tower outside. And it looks like I-10 is going along pretty smoothly as well. So if you have lunch plans, you need to get on I-10. I don't think you'll run into any problems. At least it doesn't look like that right now here sitting at about 11:32. So looking pretty good there on I-10. And like I said, put on the sunglasses. Need the heavy coat too, but you can put on the sunglasses as we're seeing a little bit of sunshine pop up. Wait for our next camera to pop up. Now this is in Jasper. Clouds haven't quite cleared out there yet. And this is where we need some sunshine and temperatures above freezing. This is where we had the problems yesterday as far as some of the freezing rain and sleet. And you can see there on top of some of the buildings, I'll get out here, right in here, you can still see some of that sleet, freezing rain still on top of the buildings. So yeah, we need some sunshine. We need these temperatures up above freezing. We get that melted off. And we've been seeing still some lingering problems as far as some bridges and overpasses up in the lakes area, and just some of the frozen puddles and things like that on the roadways and sidewalks, elevated surfaces. So we need this up in the lakes area so it help warm temperatures up and we get some of that ice melted out of there. This is view in Port Arthur, of course. Beautiful shot there. From Market Basket, part of the Roofing 911 live Skycam network down in Port Arthur, as those clouds are really starting to break up there. And like I said, we just need the temperatures to rise up a little bit. It's a little breezy. You can see down there, a little tree there kind of blowing around with those north winds between about 5 to 15 miles an hour. So even though we'll see some sunshine and temperatures close to 40, you'll need to have that coat handy for today. As we look at temperatures right now, Port Arthur still at 29. We're also at 29 in Beaumont, 31 in Orange, 28 in Silsbee, as well as Kirbyville, 26 in Woodville, and then Jasper currently at about 27. Head over towards Conroe, 27, Houston, 28, Huntsville's 26. Lake Charles just now at freezing, and 29 into Quincy. So give this temperatures around the triangle maybe another hour to two, say 12:30, 1 o'clock, we'll start to see temperatures above the freezing mark here, I think. You might have to wait till maybe 1 o'clock or so before we can get those temperatures at freezing or above up towards the lakes area, depending on how quickly those clouds start to move out of here. As we look at wind chills, now this is a factor of not only temperature but wind. We put those together, and this is what it feels like to the human skin, or the feels like temperature. 18 right now in Beaumont, that's what it feels like. It feels like 17 in Port Arthur. It feels like 18 up in Jasper. It feels like 23 degrees in Orange, and you can see those teens are pretty much across most of the area for late this morning. So it is definitely cold out there to start off on this Monday. High pressure building in. We're trying to clear out some of these clouds. You can see that low level cloud deck here on the satellite all the way from Houston back over into parts of south central, or not south central Louisiana, but central Louisiana. And at least here around the triangle, we're starting to see that break up a little bit. Hopefully we can get those clearing skies to get up into the lakes area where we can warm things up. Around the rest of the country, pretty quiet across the west coast. Some cloud cover here and there. Intermountain West, not much going on. Midwest looks pretty quiet as far as no precipitation there. But then you head up towards the Great Lakes. We do have, looks like maybe some lake effect snows as we're looking at some of these weather advisories popping up through parts of Michigan. Looks like Ohio and Pennsylvania, western New York, actually eastern parts of all of New England there under winter weather advisories with some snow up in that part of the country as that storm system that went through here over the last couple of days is exiting the East Coast. Looks like some rain over Florida as well. So most of the country fairly quiet, but very cold, bitter cold temperatures all the way through the Midwest and now down in towards the southern U.S. So this big winter storm finally starting to push off the coast, but behind it has been leaving some pretty cold temperatures. Let's look at our Futurecast, and we're going to see temperatures climbing up into the upper 30s and some lower 40s for this afternoon. Here's what we're looking at around 3:30 for this afternoon, maybe 40, 41, 42 might be pushing it a little bit as we get into the afternoon, and then we'll see some middle to upper 30s up towards the lakes area for late today. As we head into this evening, 7 o'clock, temperatures in the middle 30s, and then by say 8, 9 o'clock, we'll dip down once again just below the freezing mark, and then overnight we'll see these temperatures falling back down into, I'm thinking lower 20s, upper teens. Now that might be too cold tonight. We'll have to wait and see what the latest model data is coming in for later on this afternoon into this evening. Patrick will update these numbers, of course. But right now I'm going to go lower thanks to light winds and mostly clear skies for tonight going into your Tuesday. But it could be just as cold as maybe 27, 28 for tomorrow morning, which would be a good thing. Not as cold, it helps us out a little bit. But still, this is going to be below freezing, a hard freeze for tomorrow morning either way. So that's why we have the weather impact alert in place. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll be well up into the 40s across the entire area, some middle to upper 40s. So looking pretty good for tomorrow. We'll see definitely chilly temperatures, but not quite as cold as it has been the last few days heading into looks like Tuesday afternoon. So hard freeze tonight. That starts, like I said, late evening and goes through about this time tomorrow. Definitely going to see those numbers below the freezing mark for several hours, so that's why we call it a hard freeze. And just need that winter gear out there for tomorrow morning. You won't have to worry about anything as far as any precipitation or any ice or anything like that on the roadways or anything like that. You do maybe need to drip those faucets though tonight into tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow morning as you walk out the door, the winter coat, hat, gloves, you'll need the whole thing as we head out for Tuesday afternoon. It will warm up a little bit. Along the coast today, we were having a pretty gusty north wind. At Texas Point, north winds at 22, gusting to 26. Water temperatures falling back to 61 out there in the Gulf. There is a small craft advisory along the coast. North winds between 15 and 20 knots and seas anywhere from about 2 to 4 feet. Next high tide, we just had one at 11:16 this morning. Next one is at 6:53 for this evening. Sunrise, we didn't get to see that this morning at 7:09, but we will definitely see the sunset this evening at about 5:48. So our forecast for today, decreasing clouds will be breaking up through the afternoon, even the lakes area, and that should push our temperatures into the middle to upper 30s there all the way through inland southeast Texas, and then around the triangle we're hoping for those lower 40s to come into play with north winds at 5 to 10. Of course, we're not expecting any rain today. Matter of fact, it looks like a dry forecast all the way through the weekend into early next week, and I'll show you that on the 7-day. And then weather impact alert goes into effect tonight as we're expecting a hard freeze. Once again, these numbers might be too low. We're thinking 20s around the triangle and upper teens towards the lakes. We might be looking at 20s all the way through southeast Texas for tonight. We're talking maybe some lower to middle 20s instead of just right around 20 degrees. But we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. North winds between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. 7-day forecast, we're calling for a weather impact alert for Tuesday morning. Of course, we had one this morning with temperatures down there. We'll get to about 48 on Tuesday. And then the next couple mornings after that, Wednesday and Thursday morning, we'll continue to see numbers drop below freezing, but not by too much. 28 on Wednesday morning, and then right at 30 on Thursday morning, with afternoon highs back up into the 50s, which will feel fairly warm compared to what we've been seeing. Our average high for this time of year about 63, 64. So we're still going to be, at least on Wednesday, 10 degrees below that, and a good 6, 7 degrees below that on Thursday. Now we do have a front coming through on Friday. With that front, we'll see temperatures, before it gets here, we'll see temperatures in the upper 30s, so we won't even drop below freezing on Friday. We'll reach a high of only about 50, and then here comes the front, and behind the front, once again, we'll see temperatures drop below the freezing mark. Both Saturday and Sunday will be in the middle 20s. Saturday afternoon, we'll reach a high of 44, and then Sunday, we'll get to about 52. So, with the exception of Friday, every morning this week will be below freezing, believe it or not. So it's going to be some cold mornings out there, and then the afternoons are going to be chilly to very cool the rest of this week. Like I said, the great news is we're really not expecting much as far as any type of precipitation popping up across the area. We're looking at some days lots of sunshine, some days maybe a few clouds, but like on Friday where the front comes through. But overall, not looking too bad out there as far as staying dry. And I checked this morning, and we had an inch of rain yesterday with the rain coming down. So we are caught up for the year. We were in a drought situation. We don't see that anymore. We are caught up for the year as far as rainfall. I know we're only a couple of weeks into it, but we were actually getting close to about 2 inches behind for the year. So it's nice that we caught up there, and hopefully we can keep some precipitation from time to time. We just like to keep it in the form of rain and not see any type of frozen stuff pop up. Once again, I want to see some of these sky cams and see where the skies are starting to clear out a little bit. Definitely starting to see skies clear out here in downtown Beaumont, Packer-LaPrairie location there. And still not to freezing, but we're at 29 on our Roofing 911 Sky Cam network. And then 12 News Studio, once again, starting to see those clouds break up here as well. Keep those sunglasses handy through the rest of the afternoon as things clear out. We want to see that Jasper Sky Cam once again to see if the clouds are trying to break up there. We'll have to wait and see once it rotates around. But like to see the sunshine. We haven't seen the sunshine for a few days, so hopefully we can see that up all the way into the lakes area today. If we don't see the sun in the lakes, you are going to be stuck around just above the freezing mark for later on this afternoon, which I don't think is going to happen. I think the clouds will clear out of there. We're already starting to see some skies clear out earlier this morning, and there we are. So not yet, but keep your fingers crossed that those skies will clear out here in a little bit, but still have some of that low-level clouds up into the Jasper area. And like I said, you can still see some of the frosty conditions on top of the rooftops there in Jasper. Had some sleet you could see up into the grass yesterday, and this road earlier on Monday or Sunday morning was all frosted over when the sleet was coming down early on Sunday. It was pretty slick out there. All right, we're going to get ready to wrap up the stream. Of course, Patrick's going to be with us later on tonight. He'll be doing another stream between 6:30 and 6:45, and then he'll have more updates as far as tonight's lows temperatures. Like I said, there's kind of a discrepancy between computer models now coming in with maybe higher temperatures overnight into